India, recognized for various cultures, diversity in language, traditions, has now become a global hotspot for medical tourism. And one of the fields within the medical tourism is the field of hair transplantation. The industry of hair transplantation has grown by leaps and bounds in the past decade. And so has the growth of hair transplant led to a difference in the cost structure of the hair transplant being done by different clinics in different cities. To talk more about it, I, Dr. Kapil Dua, Chief Surgeon at AK Clinics, will be talking about the intricate points which lead to the costing of a hair transplant procedure. So what are the factors affecting the cost of hair transplant? The cost of hair transplant depends upon the clinic and its location. Then, who is going to do the surgery? Is it going to be the doctor or technician? Then, what technique is being used? FUE, FUT, body hair harvesting, body hair, beard hair transplantation, what procedure is being carried on? And then, the number of grafts. So first, let's talk about the location. As you all know, the metro cities or the bigger cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai have higher rentals as compared to the smaller cities like Chandigarh, Pune or Ludhiana. So the cost of running those centers is much more. Therefore, the cost of doing the surgery is bound to be more. And the people also who work over there, because they have to commute large distances, and the cost of living is more for the team members over there. So the cost is always bound to be more for the bigger cities. And if the clinic is situated in a plush area, then it is bound to be having higher rentals, so will be the cost. So this does not mean that it is only the location which matters. Most important point to think about or to keep into your mind is who is going to do the surgery. The surgery, if it is being done by the doctor, then what is his experience? In general, the cost of hair transplant in India varies from 20 rupees per graft to 250 rupees per graft, and I have heard some people even charge more than that. But in general, I find that anybody who is a newcomer or a surgeon is doing the slit making and the harvesting part, they usually charge around 40 rupees per graft. Then the next level of people are the ones who are experienced 5 to 10 years and have made some name in the hair transplant industry. Usually they are charging anywhere between 60 to 80 rupees per graft. And then there are people who have been working for more than a decade who charge around 90 to 100 and goes up to 250 rupees per graft. So the surgery cost is going to depend upon who is going to do these crucial steps of the surgery. However, if there is a technician who is doing a surgery, that can be even done at 10 rupees or 20 rupees per graft, because over there the only point which is to be taken into consideration is the number of grafts. So what happens usually is the doctor consults the patient, and on the day of the surgery somebody else is going to come and do the surgery, and usually they are the technicians who are hired from outside. Now, as per the guidelines, the technicians are not supposed to do the surgical steps, that is the slit making and harvesting. So the doctor suggests maximum number of grafts 4,000, 5,000 per session, and the technician will take out that many number of grafts without taking into account how much cost you are going to actually pay in the long term. If you try to take out 4,000, 5,000 grafts in one go, you will be hardly able to do one session. And if the result does not come out or your graft requirement increases in future, then you are left with no graft to repair that area, which is commonly seen by us now since there is a growth of a lot of clinics. So actually in the end, you end up paying much more cost because your scalp cannot be covered up. Your donor area gets washed up. So eventually the cost becomes much more than 10 or 20 rupees per graft, which you are seeing right now. Another point which depends is what technique is being used. Are you taking out the grafts from the body, or you are taking the grafts from the scalp, and are you doing the strip surgery? Now, if you have to take out the graft from the body as compared to the scalp, it is always bound to take more time. And the more time the surgeon takes or utilizes in harvesting of grafts, more will be the cost. So the cost of the same again can vary from 60 to 115 to 150 rupees, or even going up to 250 rupees per graft. And if you are doing a strip surgery, initially the cost of strip surgery used to be less because there were more surgeons doing. But unfortunately, nowadays nobody is doing the strip surgery. So the people who dissect also have increased their charges. So nowadays, strip and FUE almost cost the same in India. So these are the points that you should keep in mind while comparing the cost of different people. Now, what about the average cost breakdown? So, if a person is covering the frontal half, 2000 grafts, if you, as I mentioned earlier, if you go to a new person who has just started the practice or is not having a hang of the whole thing, he might charge you anywhere between 60 to 80,000 for covering half that, that is 30 to 40 rupees per graft. And in case you are going to an experienced surgeon, he can charge you anywhere between 1.25 to 1.5 lakhs. And the people who are more than a decade in the range of 2 to 2.5 lakhs, and the highest going up to 5 lakhs. And then on the other side is the market where the technicians are doing the surgery. For 2,000 grafts, they might charge you just 25 to 30,000 or 40,000. But you have to be careful that even if they take out 2,000 grafts, how much is the graft wasted, and you might not be left with any grafts to repair anything in future. And if you are going for the full head coverage, a good hair transplant surgeon might charge you 5 to 6 lakhs in total over a lifetime for 2 to 3 sessions, whereas the lowest can be anywhere between 80,000 to 1 lakh rupees, and a mid level can be for 2 sessions can be anywhere between 2 to 2.5 or 3 lakhs. So this is the overall architecture of the cost of hair transplant in India. So along with this, it is not only the surgical cost, but you also need to be careful that you might need some blood work to be done before the surgery. It might vary from 1,500 to 3,000 rupees, and then post-operatively you should take the medicines, which include finasteride, minoxidil, depending upon whether you are a candidate or not. Then along with that, the multivitamins, and that will range anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 rupees per month. And usually we tell the patient to take it as long as they can, because hair loss is an ongoing condition, and if you do the transplant and the other hair get lost over a period of time, that might be a concern for you. So overall, you have to consider all these points into mind while taking the call for a hair transplant, and quality has to be given priority over quantity. So this is something which I speak every day. So it's optimum utilization versus utilizing more. So there's a very thin line. If you want to give a certain look to a hair transplant patient, it is not that you just need more grafts. You need to make sure that how the grafts are placed, what is the angle of making the slits, when the hair come out, how will they fall off, like what will be the direction, forward and downwards, and then what is the angle, left to right, or what is the variation. All those points need to be taken care of while deciding the cost of the hair transplant. In comparison to other countries, if we see that good surgeons outside charge around $10 per graft for FUE, and again the rookie or the people who just started the practice anywhere between $2 to $3. So it's not only that the price variation is in India. So the price variation is available all over the world. Like, it's just like the hotel industry. You have all kinds of hotels available. It all depends upon where you are going and what kind of a quality you are looking at. And when you compare that, $10, similar skilled surgeons in India are hardly charging around $1.5 to $2 or $2.5. So there's a lot of cost variation, and that is why India is gaining its popularity as a hub spot for global medical tourism in the field of hair transplant. To know more about all this, please click on the link below and get yourself enriched with the information which we have placed for all of you. Thank you very much.